Welcome to Millwood Outdoors. I'm Jeff. Today is Friday, June 12th. It is about 6:30 in the morning, and I've got a busy day planned for today. The crew from the Up in the Northwoods YouTube channel is going to be coming by today, and they're going to be taking some trees down for me. In a video from this winter, I had talked about a couple of trees that the woodpeckers were going after that were close to the cabin. So they're going to take those two down. Those are the two trees right behind me. And then since they're here, they're going to take probably four more down besides that. Not that they were as great a risk maybe as these, but since they're here and they got their equipment, well, they may as well just take them down. I felt like these trees are too close to the cabin, and I don't have a lot of tree felling experience. I've maybe fell less than 10 trees in my life. And so I don't really have any business trying to take them down and potentially drop a tree on the cabin. So this is a job that needed to be done by some experts, and that's why I hired the crew from up in the Northwoods. Let me take you around and show you some of the trees that they're going to be taking down today. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I got a load of gravel coming today too from Mountain Stoneworks. So there's that too. So anyway, here we go. This tree right behind me, this is the one that the woodpeckers bothered the most. They're taking that one down. This one right next to that one. So let's walk around the back of the cabin a little bit farther. And we've got this one here. Let me move the camera around a little bit. So it's that cut on the trunk here that I'm most concerned about. You know, it's probably fine, but again, since they're here and they got the equipment here, may as well have them take this one down too. So this tree is farther up the hill from the cabin, but it's pretty tall, you can see, and it's actually got a lean to it. And it's leaning towards the cabin. So I thought it'd be a good idea for them to take that one down too. There's a nice shot of that. Like I said, it was taller. So let's take a ride up the hill. And I'll show you that other tree, the one that's partially uprooted. So this is part of the property here. It's just like I don't know, it's like an earth ramp, I guess. And it's been here since it came with the property. If you look at an old Google map, of course in Google Maps it's been updated now, but when we first started looking at the property, it looked as though there was like some sort of structure up here. I don't know what could possibly be up here, but that's kind of what it looked like in Google Maps. So let's take a walk, and I'll try and get you closer to this last tree. Boy, there is lots of branches and lots of rocks up here. It's not going to be any fun for those guys working here. Okay. Let me turn you around here. Yeah, so here we go. It's partially uprooted, and can't really see what it's leaning against because this other other small trees in the way. So yeah, so it's leaning against at least this one, the one next to it, and it might even be into the other one that's a little farther down the hill. But yeah, I thought it'd be good to get this one down too, because I don't know, it's quite a ways away from the cabin, but you just never know. If this one takes one that's farther down the hill, and then that one's closer to the cabin, then we could have a real problem on our hands. So there you go. That's pretty much a summary of the trees that they're taking down today. Let's head back down the hill. The crew from up in the Northwoods will be here any minute.
towards the hill.
Yeah, let's go that way, never mind.
Yeah, it's leaning that way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll just go.
There, now you don't even need a rope.
So how they got this set up is they got the Wallenstein logging winch. And they got it all the way over to this big maple. And then they got a pulley attached to that. And then the cable went back to the tree and they pull it down.
You went a little more left?
No.
No?
No, perfect. I think.
Yeah. It looks left for here, but I'm not.
That's right where he was aiming for, right next to the spruce. That's a hard tree.
All right.
Which one next?
Up the hill?
Yep.
Okay.
The maple?
I'll take a ride. I'll go do some logging on the way up because there might be some branches.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that shrimp and lobster and
Shrimp and lobster.
yeah.
It must be that other place you're going to.
You got some baby back ribs all smoked up?
So it's hard to see all this, but they've got the tractor up on the hill, and then they got the winch line going all the way back to that tree there, and then that comes all the way back and it's way up on that tree, and I don't want to get any closer. And so then as a safety line, they've got that rope on the bottom to prevent the trunk from shooting away from the cabin. Because if the bottom of the tree goes up the hill, then it's going to fall towards the cabin. So that kind of ensures that it's going to fall away from the cabin. At least that's the plan. So he's just telling them to tighten the winch up. And you can see that tree's just starting to straighten up. I don't want to get a better view because I'm afraid I'm going to be in the drop zone if I move into a different spot. So I'm sorry that branch is in the way of the cable, but so they're having a little trouble up on the hill. The tractor doesn't have enough traction to pull this over. It's such a hard lean. So they're gonna unhook the truck, and they're gonna back the truck up the hill and kind of use both to pull with. So this is a little intermission. Now would be a good time to hit the restroom or go grab your favorite snack. I don't know if you could see with the sun, but it's just, so they tied the tractor to the truck, and now they're pulling it. It's not vertical yet, but nearly so. And there it's going. Oh. What's the next one?
Do that broken one and that birch.
Okay. You can pull ahead a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So the gravel here at the cabin is a mixture of sand and colored stone. And it's got a kind of a light brown, medium brown color to it. And I wanted to keep that same look. So I ordered a 3/4 screen. So Mountain Stoneworks has 3 different types of this gravel. They've got 3/4 fractured, which is just the colored stone with no sand in it. There's a 3/4 crushed, which has colored stone but more sand or more fines in it. And 3/4 screened, I think will kind of fall in the middle. So that's what I got. I got 5 yards of that. Anyway, we're going to give this a try. I'm going to use this to fill in holes, and we'll see how it works. And I only got 5 yards, and if I don't like it, I'll just get something different next time. So it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Tad, Gunner, and Zane from up in the Northwoods, they left a little bit ago. So why don't we take a look at some of the carnage from today. So let me turn you around here. So this is part of that ash tree that was half uprooted up on top of the hill. That'll make a chain dull, won't it? Yeah, so maybe 19, 20, and a solid 20 here. Let's see what it is on the other end. So 16, 17. That's a nice sized log there. We're going to get a lot of good firewood out of that. All right, let's head up the hill here a little bit farther. Take a look at this big ash tree that they cut down. Let me turn you around here. So yeah, you could see all the wheel tracks here where they had the Kubota. So I hate to say it, but I did not get any footage of them dropping this tree. And I was looking forward to this more than any of them. But it was just kind of a comedy of errors. They were up here working on it, and I got a call from Mountain Stoneworks that the dump truck was going to be here. And I didn't give them real good, it's hard to give them real good directions on where I wanted them to put the gravel. So I needed to be down at the bottom of the hill. And then by the time they got here, I was trying to work my way around to a better spot to look at this, and they dropped it while I was walking around. So I did not get any video, and this thing slammed down hard. Let me work my way down here. So it was nice of them to grab that log from up here and drag down to the bottom of the hill. So now that it was fully uprooted, and you can see the cabin, and you can see how far that ash got. If we'd have left it up here, and it would have taken one of these other trees a little farther down the hill with it, maybe one of those trees would have hit the roof of the cabin. So I'm glad we had this one taken down. I couldn't get a real good camera view because the other trees that they dropped were now obstructing the view of the hill. So that's quite a large tree. I don't know. I sure would like to rescue the wood off that one, but I don't know how we're going to do that. That's certainly going to be a challenge. So that maple that they dropped from behind the cabin, I'm pretty sure that's what all these leaves are. So that one was, well, equally as tall or more tall than this ash, I would say. So yeah, a lot of stuff to clean up. So why don't we head back down the hill? Well, let's go around to the northeast corner. Let me turn you around. So there's an elm that was dead. So they took that one down. That one that's laying crossways, I think that one was dead and like kind of laying at an angle. And I think those other trees fell on top of it. So if you're looking at the tree with that Y in it that's laying across the ground, that is the ash. And let me get up here by this other one. So this maple is huge. This had a cut in the trunk, and so that's why I had them take it down, and it was close to the cabin. It's kind of a shame. It seems like such a nice tree, but yet they're here, and I don't want to take a chance. Hold on, let me get a little closer to these other ones. So this is a birch. That's pretty long too. So that's tree number 4. And that's another maple. That was the maple that was growing out of the, well, it was growing at an angle and it was leaning towards the cabin. And that would be tree number 5. So that maple, tree number 5, that's the trunk for that one. So that's the one that was leaning towards the cabin, and they rigged to a tree back here, and they actually pulled it against the lean, and they had quite a time with that one. That one was kind of a struggle because they had to upright it to get it vertical and then pull it over and have it fall to the north. So this is the other maple. This one the woodpeckers were after, but they weren't. It wasn't quite as bad as this one here. So this is the one I talked about in the video this winter, where the woodpeckers were going after it. So these two, that's trees number 6 and 7, and I have a lot of cleanup to do. I got the family coming up. They should be here in a couple hours, and I'm sure we'll do some cleanup this weekend. And if we could get to a point where we didn't have any trees laying in the lawn, that would be great. But we'll see what we can do. So I'm actually filming this a week later. Uh, Today was such a busy day. When I started editing, I realized that I never recorded a an outro to this video. So I'm recording this a week later on Father's Day here, and so yeah, boy, we got a lot done today. I feel really good that we've got some trees down that were at risk of hitting the cabin. It did really open up the backyard, and there's a lot more sun back there than there was before. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the vegetation back there. If there's some smaller trees that'll now start to take off and grow, but we'll see how that goes. And we got a lot of work ahead of us getting this all cleaned up, but it's work that I enjoy. I enjoy cutting up trees and splitting wood, so that's okay. And I'm pretty sure I'll have some help with between my son and my son-in-law and the rest of the crew. Uh, that'll help make shorter work out of it, I guess. So it would have been great to, have a little interview with the crew from up in the Northwoods, Tad, Gunner, and Zane. But so Zane does all their tree climbing, and he does all this work on Fridays because he works full time the rest of the week. And they had a job they were trying to fit in yet after mine. They're on Friday afternoon, so they kind of wanted to pack up and get going, and so that's fine too. So they've got a great YouTube channel. You should check it out. It's called Up in the Northwoods. They make firewood and split firewood. They do some forestry mulching and some logging, a lot of different things, and they've got some really cool equipment. They've got a log trailer with a grapple on it. Boy, I'd love to have one of those, and a 17 VS Wolf Ridge vertical splitter. So they got a lot of nice equipment, and they do a lot of cool things. So make sure and check out their channel, Up in the Northwoods. I'll put a link to their channel in the description. Spend some time outdoors.